Hello, everybody. Yes, I've made it for the program because, well, I'm just that kind of a rugged cow. I hold up better than Demarius Randall. Welcome to Moohead Radio. I'm your host, a big and furry bovine with ice on my back and in my heart. Joining me is Brian and Rick, and Jake will be along in a minute once his dog pisses outside.
Poops.
And it shits, yeah. That would be more entertaining to watch anyway. And it looks like we have another person, Steven, jumping into the fray. Hi, Steven. How you
Hello.
doing, buddy?
Doing all right, brother. I'm glad to hear you're getting better.
Well, I'm not sure I'm getting better. I'm just determined to do this because it's Friday, and Rebecca Black would feel like an orphan if I didn't do this. A distant pop culture reference. Today is an interesting thing that I want to start out the program with. I really had fun doing the unscheduled show, and all of the comments of people who told me what sports moments were the things that really revved their engines and got them going. And after all, that's the reason we do the show, is for the excitement. It's not so that we can bitch week after week after week. But so it would seem, so it would seem that is our lot in life with the Cleveland Browns. One day I'll tell you what sports moments really did it for me. People who watch the show know my penultimate moment, but there are many other sports things that I've watched through the years that were highly inspiring. But unfortunately, they're not happening on Sundays, and they're not happening on Sundays in the city of Cleveland. Here's where I want to start the program today. There was a headline saying, what could Freddie Kitchens do to jumpstart the Browns? And it was the typical pap smear that you get from, Cleveland.com. And I really wanted to look into something that hasn't been talked about, and that's about Todd Monken. And this notion that Todd Monken has never called plays before, which is a total fabrication. Todd Monken called plays for the Tampa Bay Bucks every game last year except one. All right? Except one. He started out in the preseason calling the plays. They liked it so much they started the season that way. 2 successive 400-yard passing games for Fitzpatrick. And he went on, and they had the top-rated offense, passing offense in the league. It was bizarre there because Dirk, welcome back to the unemployment line, Cotter, was the head coach, and he stepped in and decided that he wanted to call plays in Week 11, or Week 10, I think it was, against the Redskins, which resulted in 3 points. 3, count them, points. And the following week, he gave the play calling duties back to Monken. Now, they were only 5 and 11, but you're talking about Fitzpatrick, you're talking about Jameis Winston, right?
James. Yeah.
And there were just all kinds of turnovers, is what it amounted to. Here's
LaShawn Jackson or Deshaun Jackson.
Right. I mean,
that team. So that was their OBJ moment.
And Mike Evans, they had some good receivers there. This was an article that was written that I thought was worthwhile to share. This was from CBS Sports back last year. The Tampa Bay Bucks are not a very good football team. They have a 3-6 record, which is good for last, and tied for the 7th worst in the league. Their problem has been their defense, which ranked 28th in yards per game and 32nd in points allowed per game. But unlike the defense, their offense has been pretty good despite Ryan Fitzpatrick and Jameis Winston's incredible propensity for turnovers. The Bucks have done a pretty good job. They lead the NFL in yards per game and rank 12th in scoring. And yet, Dirk Cotter felt it was necessary that he take over the play calling over Todd Monken for the game against the Washington Redskins. Meanwhile, they scored 3 points. They had 501 yards in the game, but they only scored 3 points, which showed, red zone ineptitude. And the other thing was that they turned the ball over 4 times, and they were 0 for 5 on red zone trips. So he immediately handed the thing back to Monken. The notion that Monken's never called plays is something that maybe apologists for Freddie Kitchens. But don't forget that Freddie Kitchens had never called plays until preseason last year.
Right.
So, I mean, that's kind of, the pot calling the kettle black. This article I wanted to share with you from June 13th, 2019 from Bleacher Report. Browns rumors. Offensive coordinator Todd Monken's arrival has not gone as smoothly as planned. Now listen to this. This is back way before the preseason. Monken's takeover of the Browns offense has not gone smoothly as planned, according to the NFL Network's Mike Silver. The result, Freddie Kitchens is playing a greater role in spearheading the offense than originally intended. Kitchens spent 2018 as the Browns offensive coordinator, then was moved to head coach. Kitchens has been doing more in offensive meetings the past few weeks, but only because he's been gathering input from all the assistants and must make decisions on how the scheme will ultimately play out. That's what Mary Kay Cabbagehead wrote all the way back on June the 13th. Cabbagehead also relayed that Monken had noted during Cleveland's May OTAs that the team's offense was a work in progress, as the staff tried to master mixing schemes from past offenses from Kitchens, Monken, and offensive line coach James Campen. All right. So,
What are you dumping into your Pepsi? Cocaine?
what do you mean?
Steven.
Oh, I have no idea. I'm not even looking at Steven.
Hawaiian Punch.
Now get this. Upon his arrival to Cleveland, Monken agreed to let Kitchens remain in charge of play calling. Here's Freddie Kitchens' quote back on last year, or before this year, I should say, before preseason. I'm very impressed that Todd made that decision. He showed an investment in me and showed an investment in what we're trying to build and the vision where we're taking this thing. He made a decision based on people. Our decisions here are going to be made on people. All right. I'll go one step further. The first season that Monken took over as the play caller, the Buccaneers, again, we said 400 yards in the first 2 games of the season passing. They ended up 5-11, but they threw for an NFL-leading 5,125 yards combined and averaged 12th best at 24.8 points per game. He's also a former head coach at Southern Mississippi, where he turned, this is Monken, where he turned the Golden Eagles around in just a couple of seasons, including a 9-win season where his team played in the Conference USA Championship in 2015. All right. Here's what I think. I think that he's going to be gone at the end of the year because he's not going to be able to put up with this shit anymore. Right? Second of all, I think that Freddie Kitchens has squelched him from the moment he came into the building. There's no way on June 13th that anybody would be able to say how good the offense would or wouldn't be when they hadn't even hit the fucking field yet. And the fact that Kitchens was already intervening and interposing himself into the offensive scheme tells me specifically that that's what he was going to do no matter what. And he just wanted to whip out his dick because I'm the head coach. None of these things are new, folks. These are not things that just develop. These are things that wind up being, unearthed at a later date. So right off the bat, I really seriously wonder whether Monken was brought over for any other purpose but to give Freddie some clue on how the air raid offense works. Unfortunately, Freddie is a moron and he's Death Wish. He doesn't know how to call plays or to construct an offense around an air raid style offensive scheme that he's never run before. So what is the first thing that Death Wish does? He wants Baker Mayfield to get rid of the ball faster, which defeats the entire purpose of the air raid offense because players got to get down the field. So right off the bat, you have two things that don't even go together, that don't mesh. I don't know what else I can say about what Freddie Kitchens needs to do to move the Browns forward, except let Todd Monken call the plays. And here's why I feel that way. It may be fool's gold. After all, it was last year. When they turned over the reins to the inexperienced Freddie Kitchens, the offense started working. We started winning games. What is Death Wish afraid of? And why isn't the edict being given by the front office just to turn over the play calling to Todd Monken? There's more to the Monken story because there were points where he was a dark horse candidate in Miami and New York for the Jets to take over the reins as head coach of those teams. Freddie doesn't want to groom his replacement, obviously, and has cut him out of the loop. I say, if you really want to do something that's going to work, give the play calling responsibilities to Todd Monken. The reason is every offensive player we have is underperforming their skill level. Landry and Beckham, Higgins isn't even getting a chance to play. Baker Mayfield, God only knows. The offensive line, Greg Robinson, is playing substantially worse than what he played last year. Everybody is underachieving under Death Wish. So what do we have to lose? We might actually discover that we have somebody who's connected to the air raid offense who knows how to call plays for it rather than designing quick outs and turning the scheme that Todd Monken brought to Cleveland into the dink and dunk offense, which is basically what Freddie Kitchens has done and has turned the team into a low-scoring, non-factor in the red zone kind of team. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, let's see how the players respond. The biggest mistake that was made was listening to Baker Mayfield and his support and his man love for Death Wish Kitchens. Because now you know that Baker's not going to step out and say, Death Wish is, taking us into oblivion. He's just going to stay silent and quiet on this whole thing, and that's it. That'll be the deal. But I want to see how other players perform, and I want to see how the offense looks when being called by somebody who understands the way the offense is supposed to run. Let's see what it will do. The season is over, folks. The season's over. There's not, it's just what your final record's going to be. And what the hell? It's like, let's treat the home fans to something decent for a change instead of this nonsense sloppiness. Let's see if the players understand where they're supposed to line up when Monken calls the plays as opposed to Kitchens. Got nothing to lose. My feeling is the players are not responding to Freddie Kitchens. And I have so much proof of that, it's scary. Here's my next bit of proof. And then I'll turn this over to my good buddies on the panel. Once again, the ultimate narcissist, Myles Garrett, is talking. Yes, he is a narcissist. If you recognize the traits, they're truly Donald Trump-esque. They're self-aggrandizing. All right? The idea here is that Myles Garrett will pose for a magazine showing off his beautiful body. He will talk and talk and talk. He'll draw attention by saying that Greg Williams didn't allow him to do this move and that move to get into the backfield. He'll tell you that he wants to get 20 sacks in a season. This is all narcissistic behavior. But the quote today says it all. What a treat it is to come back to Cleveland, folks. Here's his quote. I'm more worried about us winning than giving wins to the fans, he said.
Wow.
It's always nice, but I'm worried about the guys in this room. That's who's going to stick with us through thick and thin. Anything can happen with how they feel or injuries. I think Golden State might have lost a couple of fans with the guys getting traded or just going to other places in free agency. So anytime they could be out of here. But I believe in them, and they've always supported us. You see, in other words, it's okay if the players jump ship, but it's not okay if the fans, after 20 fucking years, jump ship.
Preach.
Here he goes on to speak, the narcissist.
Or jump out of their car and sock him in the face.
He has a little penis. But the guys in our locker room, I know, aren't going anywhere. They sure aren't. They're not going anywhere in the postseason there, Miles. And their heads aren't going to ever hang. They aren't going to bash on us and complain and feel like we need something different. They're confident in who's managing us, who's coaching us, that we can win with the guys in this room, and that will never change. Fans, that can't always be said for the ones who have been with us through everything and who remain to be with us. We appreciate y'all, and y'all help add fuel to the fire. We're trying to win for us as well as for you. But the fans who question the players' motivations in this, we have no time for you. And that's the narcissistic thing. Me, 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 me. All right? If you've heard this before, you probably heard it with Donald Trump. You're either with me or you're against me. This is narcissist talk, folks. You can disagree with somebody and not just be totally against them. I think we all love the Cleveland Browns. We'd love to see them win. But to be honest, what is Myles Garrett talking about?
It sounds like he doesn't give a fuck about what the product is on the field. If you guys aren't behind us 100% and going to the games and cheering, then you guys are traitors.
Well, the fans, what he's basically saying is the fans don't have a right really to complain. And if they go rogue and go renegade, then they're not really fans, and we're not here to please them anyway. But and he's there for his guys in the locker room. Well, where in the fuck was he on the opening drive of the game against the Broncos, against a quarterback who had never taken a snap? Never taken a snap in the NFL. You had an early 3rd and 7. And you know what Myles Garrett did?
He got buried.
No, he didn't get buried. He gave up containment, and he allowed that quarterback to run for a first down. It's on video. You can see what he did. He went rogue. He did not follow the containment scheme that they were told to do. He could have stayed outside. Instead, he tried an inside pass rush, trying to get the glory for himself, which is what narcissists do. Anybody who follows Donald Trump knows that narcissists do whatever it is they claim makes themselves look great. And in order
Obama and Clinton and every other fucking Democrat has never suffered from narcissism whatsoever.
Every politician's a narcissist.
No, I would say
get off the fucking Trump shit about narcissism. There's so many more other fucking examples we can
La
use.
Grande Orange.
Hey, Mr. Moohead.
Yeah.
Garrett is calling the Browns fan base out like that, saying if 80% of the fans stop showing up to the games, we'll see if he keeps that same tune.
Well, I mean, but the fact is, he's saying, I'm here for the guys in my locker room, but he wasn't there. He was trying to get a sack on a play where he was supposed to have containment outside. Had he just had containment out there, he could outrun that quarterback. He can force that quarterback to throw the ball. They're off the field, and they don't have that 7-0 lead to start out the game with confidence. Instead, we get the ball in our hands. But he's not playing team football because he's a narcissist. He's doing it for himself, and they're all doing it for themselves. They're all wearing the cleats they want to wear. They're all saying the shit they want to say, providing bulletin board opportunities for every team we play. Every single fucking week, they're doing this for themselves. And then to have the audacity to say, but it's okay if we go away in free agency and leave your city a burning, raging ruin, that's absolutely fine because we'll still be making money.
Yeah, preach.
You know? And that's no different than bankrupting a company and bankrupting casinos and leaving the banks holding the notes.
Yeah.
So he is blaming the fans for showing up and being disappointed when they lose.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable.
If it was 80% less of those fans stopped showing up and that stadium was almost empty, he will not be singing that same tune.
Yeah, thank you, Kawaki. This isn't a referendum on the fans and their loyalty. This is a referendum on Myles Garrett. And the fact, and I want to kind of segue this into something because it bothers me when things are said and, and these headlines. Is Bill Belichick a genius? Let's do this. And we'll start with Brian. Is Bill Belichick a genius?
I have a hard time calling him a genius. He's very good at being a defensive-minded coach. Whether he's a defensive coordinator or the head coach, controlling the defense. He talks to the defensive backs. He'll talk to the linebackers. He'll coach them up while the offense is on the field.
Yeah,
And he doesn't give a shit about the offense.
All right. Jake, is Bill Belichick a genius?
No, he's a great manager and he knows how to stay out of things that he doesn't have to be involved with. Great coordinator. He lets McDaniels be the co-head coach of the offense. It's what a head coach should do.
Rick?
I don't think he's a genius, but he's a damn good teacher. Year after year, you can see the defensive results. He lets Brady and the offensive people take care of the offense. His focus is on the defense because he knows that's what he does best.
Steven?
he's not a genius, but he ain't the Greg Popovich of the NFL or the Nick Saban for nothing.
Right. And here's what I have to say about this. I can look at things in all kinds of business realms, all right? Restaurants would be one that jump out into my mind. What do you think is the most popular restaurant in America?
You mean like fast food or dine-in or both?
Both, either.
Oh, shit.
Subway.
McDonald's, Denny's.
Probably
Right.
Taco
McDonald's.
Bell.
I mean, you're thinking like a network, like that's nationwide. I'll say Denny's, McDonald's.
What, Rick?
Like a chain like Applebee's or
Yeah.
Chipotle or something like that.
I'll say McDonald's by default. Let's just say McDonald's. That's like a Walmart sort of
Right.
restaurant.
All right. And let's use in the realm of department stores and stores like Walmart would be a good example as
Yeah.
well. And every line of work, in my line of work, it was, for me, it was, geez, this guy just went from this city to this city to this city and programs radio stations that had the top percentage of viewership and share in their markets. How does he do it? And it's like, well, there are basic principles that you adhere to. And in radio, it's real simple. if you're a hit radio station, you play the hits and you play them often. And the biggest complaint that people would say about top 40 radio in my day, and probably still today, is that they repeat the songs too frequently.
Yeah, they repeat the same content.
Same 7 songs every 70 seconds.
Yeah,
They play the top 40, but not number 41.
But you want to know something? That's what people want.
really.
People want a routine. And I'll tell you that they want routines not just in the way they listen to radio stations, but for the products that they shop for in supermarkets. All right? Why do you think the Tide box has never changed colors? People just grab that orange kind of box and just throw it into their, in the cart and move on. Because that's what mom bought, that's what they're going to buy. There's no thought process. They're no different than, than a dog that's ready to eat when it smells food and salivates. People like a comfort zone. They don't like to have unlimited choices. Why do you think McDonald's is so popular? Because you can't get all kinds of goofy, different foods.
A taco made from Cheetos.
Yeah. The company was founded on a principle that all of our hamburgers have a dash of mustard, a dash of ketchup, and
Onions and pickles.
that's right. And have it your way? Fuck you. No, it's not have it your way. You have it the way we give it to you. And you know something? It became the most popular hamburger in America. And the same thing with their, you went there, you either got a single, you got a Big Mac, you got a double cheeseburger. Later on, you got chicken McNuggets.
Yeah.
But
Quarter pounder.
Yeah, it was right. But it wasn't this expansive menu. They, and fries. You don't get fucking onion rings, asshole. You get fries, okay? That's the way it works.
Mr. Muiz, same thing at In-N-Out Burger in Cali. They brought it here to Houston. It's only got either get the single burger, the double burger, the triple meat. There's no nuggets on the menu, no tenders. You get fries, and there's like 2 other things on the menu, and that's it. But people go there and they buy it.
Keep it simple, stupid. So I'll be honest with you. We would play high rotation new songs that had wow factor every 2.5 to 3 hours on CK 105 in Flint and on Star 105.7 in Binghamton. That's what we did. Now, does that make me a genius? Fuck no. Fuck no. It's just realizing what human nature is. Bill Belichick's not a genius, but you know what he is? He's a no-nonsense guy who says, this is the scheme. And you play the scheme. And if you go outside of the scheme, you don't play.
Yeah, he does do that.
And I don't care how talented you are as an individual. This is about all the 53 men on this team. This is not about you. This is about the end result. And he has a huge advantage because when his career started out, he wasn't very good. But once he got Brady and he started winning, then with victories and year after year of success, the message becomes entrenched. And it's like, we better listen to this guy because he wins. And defensively, guys like Jamie Collins, who strayed from the script, got traded. When he comes back and plays according to the script, and he's rid of his narcissism and his ego, then suddenly he's a better football player, and cohesively the team plays better defense because he's not out of place. The problem with the Cleveland Browns is they are the anti-Belichick, and Freddie Kitchens is the anti-Belichick. He's a guy who doesn't force his players to be answerable or to adhere to the necessary structures of playing offense and defense. Guys are freelancing like Myles Garrett, deciding when they're going to rush the passer and when they're going to decide to do containment. Guys are lining up on the wrong side of the field. They're cutting off patterns when they're supposed to go to a different area. And it's all fucked up. But it's all simple stuff. Either you manage players and you tell them, while we're paying you the millions of dollars to play football in our town, you do it our way or you're not going to play. Go ahead, Stephen.
Greg Popovich did the same thing. LaMarcus Aldridge started bitching about not getting the ball, and Popovich said, you either accept the role on this team or I'm going to bench you. And he benched LaMarcus for 20 games.
Nobody's going to question Pop. Pop wins. I mean, so nobody's going to question that. And therein lies the real circumstance with genius. It's just recognizing what the customer wants. It's recognizing that you have to extract effort from players instead of being self-driven to the point where that all they're looking at is, oh, when I reach free agency, if I get 18 sacks this year, I'm going to make more money. Getting them sold into the goodness of the team and the overall, end result. And, and the truth is, this is the reason why Belichick and the New England Patriots, along with league support, can find players and fit them in seemingly at will, because as long as they play the scheme and they don't go rogue, the scheme works.
And Mr. Muhammad, look at what happened to Randy Moss when he came to the Patriots. Record-breaking touchdown in one season. I think he had like 28 or 29 touchdowns and like 35 going into the Super Bowl. Receiving touchdowns that year? Wow.
Yep. Go ahead.
And they lost.
But I'm just saying, he managed to tame the beast in Randy Moss and lowered his ego.
Let's get Jake in here. What do you want to say, Jake?
Bill Belichick has drafted the most college captains and college graduates and most master degree carriers out of anybody else in the league.
Oh, I think that we all froze.
Yeah. Did you guys hear?
Yeah.
I didn't hear what you said. Say it again, Jake.
Belichick has drafted the most college graduates, master's degrees carriers, and college captains out of anybody else in the NFL over the last 10 years.
Well, and he also takes, on the defensive side of the ball anyway, he takes more guys that have B-level talent than the A guys, with a couple of outliers, but they're not the highest graded people, but they fit what Bill wants to run every single down, and they can play multiple positions.
Now, one thing I cannot say I'm a college graduate. Okay, let me try. I'm a college gargaguate.
Mm.
Damn it!
So close. So close.
Did he graduate?
Just can't say.
He matriculated.
Just can't say
Circulate the
that.
ball down the field.
Belichick's not afraid to.
He partied at the University of Miami for 3 years. Sorry,
Yeah.
I had to do that.
Well, I mean, I was doing radio at Miami University, and at my other year at UMass, I started a campus station. I was doing radio when I was in college, and I flunked out. So but again, it all comes down to fundamentals, and it's no different in any sport that all the talent in the world doesn't buy you anything, and you need to get your players to adhere to a protocol. And Death Wish Kitchens not only does not have the experience, the players are just run rogue. And it really doesn't matter what team they play, they're not going to win. And Monken should be calling the plays. Freddie should be really out of the equation completely. He should be terminated because the players are not playing for him. I mean, they're just off doing their own thing, and you'll never win. The Browns will not win another game this season playing that kind of football because this week we play the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
And the Buffalo Bills, you can sit there and say, well, the Bills really aren't that good. Well, let me tell you something. They have the exact image and reflection of all the teams that have beaten us that weren't supposed to. Let me explain. League rank in defense, number 3 in yards allowed. In pass completions against them, 11th. In yards given up, 3rd. Touchdowns given up, 2nd in the league. All the talk about their offense, which is rated number 23 in yards, number 19 in turnovers, completion attempts, 24 in passing yards, 26th. Everyone's going to focus on Josh Allen and say he's not that good, and it doesn't matter because the guy who beat us last week never played before. Josh Allen doesn't have to do diddly squat in order for the Buffalo Bills to rake the Cleveland Browns over the coals because the league rank offense, they are basically 9th in rushing attempts, 11th in yards. They have a good running offense, which is, of course, what killed the Browns against the 49ers because we didn't prepare for that. You want to remember the last team that had no offense? Well, the first one was the Tennessee Titans, who turned out to be El Sucamundo. But it didn't matter. They scored, 41 points or whatever the fuck they scored against the Browns?
43, yeah.
43 points. And they haven't done that again all year. And the reason? Their defense just kept stopping the Browns, and the Browns just kept making mistakes and stepping on their own dick. So this is what you got. You've got the Buffalo Bills, who are the 3rd ranked defense, who have given up the 2nd fewest touchdowns in the passing game, and that's who Baker Mayfield is going to have to get his act together against. Not a fucking prayer. Not even a chance in 30, folks.
Mr. Moohead, you got a new guest that would like to join, named Fred Herbert.
Oh, are you kidding? We have. Oh, wait. I got it. Oh, yeah. And Elvis Travels. Let's get some people. Let's get.
Hello.
Hey, Fred. Fred, what's up, babe?
You can put me in the background if you'd like.
Hello there.
Say what now?
My name is Fred Herbert.
Hi, Fred Herbert. What's up?
Who's this?
That's Mr. Moohead.
Yes, I'm just. Is this a human being or a sound?
And your name again is?
Moohead. Mr. Moohead. Okay.
I'd like to talk to Carrie.
I think it's a troll account, Mr. Moohead. It's a troll. Kick him out.
All right. To Carrie. All right. You want to talk to Carrie?
Fucking asshole.
Yep. It's a troll.
Carry on, my wayward son. That's who you want to talk to.
This is the kind of idiots I have to.
You know, you would like Carrie Bradshaw. You would like to wear her clothing, you fucking queer. Okay, now that Fred is gone, let's go to the next troll account and see
Elvis
if
Travels.
Yeah, Elvis Travels. Are you there?
Fun.
This
is fun. I'm not gonna lie.
So Elvis Travels saying bye. Okay.
When is Hugh Jackson going to come in the chat room? Somebody make a Hugh Jackson troll account soundboard.
All right. So there you have it. I'm always willing to give people a chance, and you know.
I blame Russia.
Yeah, I mean this is definitely.
Oh no, he was clearly from the Chinese.
I knew he was trolling right away. The minute he started saying other names, I knew he was a troll.
Mark Jones is asking a serious question. Is Fred Herbert gay? No.
So that was question number 2. Here's the first one.
No, that's not what he's asking. Serious question, Boo. Do the Browns have to move on from Baker in 2020, or is the problem strictly the current coaching staff? No, you can't just give up on him. But you really, the problem is that he and Death Wish are obviously pals, and it's going to be a problem.
It's the combination of Lindley, Monken, and Kitchens. He's running a system that doesn't fit his skill set, and he's got no faith in the other 10 guys to actually know what the fuck they're supposed to do on any given play.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely hurt Baker Mayfield's development. Now, but Baker was all in favor of the Freddie thing, so we'll have to see how it all plays out. But no, you can't give up on the young man.
You need to let Baker fail when things are going well with the coaching staff.
But if that's he'd have to wait 20 years for that to happen. We haven't had a good coach in 20 years. That's the problem. I don't know. I mean, how do you get around this? I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how you get around it. At any rate, looking at these statistics, which I was doing before Fred Herbert decided to put women's clothing on.
Opposed to Herbert.
He puts on women's clothing and hangs around
in bars. Fred's a lumberjack and he's okay. Okay.
Probably got our Monty Python reference in.
We should in every show,
It should be a Spot the Looney.
Spot the Looney. There you go.
Hey, Mr. Moon, I thought it was a senile old Browns fan at first that came in the room. I said, maybe he's in the wrong Browns chat room.
Yeah, it's like, and now for something completely different, Fred Herbert being fucked by a dog. Josh Allen has completed 61% of his passes, which is better than Baker Mayfield, folks. All right. And he's thrown 10 touchdown passes with 7 interceptions. His interception percentage is at 2.9%, which is very good. And his overall quarterback rating is an 82.9. He hasn't hurt his team. And, they have running back by committee. They have a bunch of running backs, including Devin Singletary, who's back, and he's averaging 6.7 yards per carry. But my goodness, they've got guys who can come at you from many different angles. They have Frank Gore, who's 97 years old.
No, he is 206.
Frank Gore, bring out your dead. No, we're not going to do
Not at all.
Now watch him have a 150-yard game against the Browns. I've jinxed us.
That's normal.
Yeah. Josh Allen can run with the football. It's really it's not going to be easily solved by the Browns, because if you stop the running game but you don't play containment, Josh Allen will just run for first downs. He's a big guy. And if you don't stop the run, you have no chance of winning. And against the number 3 defense in the league, you're not going to score points. So I think you can go through all of these statistics all you want, but the bottom line is the same.
By the way, this is the same Bills team that barely lost to the Patriots 17-10. So
yeah,
that's right.
Good show against them.
They're for real defensively. Hi, Bronk. What's up, man?
I just want to say, this game Sunday, we're gonna get ass raped. No one has said ass raped yet, so I thought I'd come on.
No, and we're already 43 minutes into the show. About time you showed up.
And the reason why that is because the fucking Bills have a defense that are gonna rip us a new asshole in places where we've never even been ripped. We got the Phil Dawson offense. We'll be lucky to get 3 field goals. And so if we could hold them to 9 points or less, then we might win. But we're not going to do that because our defense will give up by the second quarter. So it's going to get ugly. So how ugly it's going to get depends on how.
It's already ugly.
The fans are going to put up with it or not. Are they going to leave?
No, they're going to leave. They're going to leave like they used to at halftime, and then it'll be.
Second half, the stands are going to look like West Buffalo.
Yeah. That's what happens in Cleveland. The fans just basically say, Meanwhile, Todd Monken, which makes me feel that he's going to be gone at the end of the year, he's saying the calling plays is a non-issue. he goes, I knew that I wasn't going to be calling plays, so it's really a non-issue. Well, like I always say, when you're an assistant coach and you take on a job, that was discussed before I came. The bottom line is I came knowing those parameters. All right. However,
everybody takes on a job and then shit happens 6 months later. You have to do new roles, or you have to adjust, or you have to adapt. It's obviously that Kitchens is not working on this offense, and we need something, anything, divine inspiration. It's just not happening. So why not have Monken do it?
well, Monken pointed out something that Freddie wouldn't appreciate. He said that no. He said that first off, Monken said it's tough for Rashard Higgins just the way the year started in terms of I thought he had a really good preseason camp, then had a real good start to the year, and then got hurt. It certainly doesn't help when you're not practicing, you're not out there. Obviously, last year they didn't have Odell, so that's part of it as well. You had some other guys that were more role players, so all of a sudden the roles change. Obviously, Higgins is a guy that Baker has real comfort in, and we do have to get him more involved. We do. Like I said before, one ball, but it has been frustrating, I'm sure, for him and for us. I mean, could he be any more clear about the fact that he even knows who his third best receiver is, and he's the offensive coordinator of this team? To help matters, Olivier Vernon lost a 40-yard dash to Sir Lawrence Olivier, who's been dead for decades, and he's out. Eric Murray is out. Eddie Murray is also out.
What about Bill Murray?
Bill Murray has been out for a long time, as far as I'm concerned.
How about Anne Murray?
And she took her little wings. She took her little wings and flew away.
Was it time to send in the clowns?
God, I mean, and then Arthur Murray, he's just kind of danced out and just danced out.
He shuffled off the Buffalo.
Absolutely. Myles Garrett added to the report with a knee problem, but he will play. Oh, Frab Juste Kalu Calais.
So he'll get his one sack and then leave the game with an injury.
Yeah, he's so that is how we're affected and impacted. J.C. Treader signed a 3-year extension.
Wow.
And his afterwards, his wife gave him a 7-inch extension. So that was even better than the $32.5 million. Treader has really proven to be a tough guy. He had so many injury problems in Green Bay, and he has in Cleveland too, but he's played through them. He's a tough guy. He's going to be one of those guys who's not going to be able to walk very well after his career is over.
Yeah, he's going to be old Dan Deerdorf in another 10 years. So
yeah. So, let's go ahead and do our predictions. We always do this because there's nothing else to do at this point. We'll start with Brian. Brian, what is your prediction of the final score of the game?
I would say Bills 19-16.
19-16 Bills. All right.
Okay, I like that.
Write it down.
Yeah, I'm writing it down right now.
Good. Jake?
Browns 17-14, some magical way. Then they're going to disappoint next week.
Who wins?
Browns.
Oh, God. All right. Rick?
wow.
Well, they haven't won at home yet. I don't see no reason for them to start now. I got Buffalo 23-16.
All right. And Steven?
Oh man, I had to think long and hard on this one because the Bills are the kind of team where they, even though they're 6-2 or whatever, they'll still drop a game or two here because it's always how they finish and they never finish strong. So by that note, I want to go with the upset, but I'm going to switch my mind. I got the Buffalo Bills to win 27-19.
All right. And Bronk?
The Bills are probably the third or fourth best team in the AFC. Look for them to win 38-9.
Wow.
And I believe
category of ass raping. Yes.
I believe the Bills are going to score 31 points, and the Browns are going to score their typical 13 to 17 points. Take your pick. But the fact of the matter is that it is beyond the realm for me that a team that has held teams consistently defensively out of the end zone, that this mishmash of an offense and players is going to get into the end zone.
The only way we're going to score is if Chubb or Kareem Hunt or, for God's sakes, Hubbard actually break a long run. If we get like a 50-yard run or a 60-yard run, but if we get in the red zone, we ain't going to do dick other than give the ball to Seibert with 4th and 9. From the
Kawaki, neither do the Titans. Okay? Remember the Titans?
A lot like the Titans. They are a lot like the Titans.
Great movie,
the Titans.
Yeah. So, it isn't so much that they're going to score a lot of points. The Browns are going to gift them with mistakes.
Yes.
They're going to have field position, and what will happen is the score will get run up that way. And that's how the Browns have been losing this year, is that, it isn't that the defense just lays down on the field. It's that the offense is making blunders, and there's a short field constantly, and the defense just can't keep people out. They can't make the critical stop when necessary. They can't seem to hold teams to 3 instead of 7. And, my feeling about this is that we do beat ourselves. And I wish somebody would beat Freddie over the back of the head with Fred Flintstone's club.
Bam,
bam, bam, bam.
Oh, Mr. Moohead, before you kick us
Or
off.
Captain Caveman.
Right.
I said, before you kick us off, Mr. Moohead, you were right about the Cleveland Cavaliers. You said it was interesting at first, and then when they realized it's 82 games, they go, now they're
Well, I mean, I don't want to get down on the. I really don't want to get down on the Cavaliers.
back to 17 wins again.
If you really want to get an idea of where the Cavs are at, they're playing the Wizards in Washington. Both teams are 2-5.
Yeah.
And can the Cavaliers on the road stay close in this game? And can they keep their heads up? Look. They lost to the Mavericks, who are a good team. Luka Doncic is a really good player. And we were within 4 points going into the fourth quarter and just got blown out. It happens. Young teams lose focus. And I think that's part of the issue here. We got young guys who may not be ready. Darius Garland is off to a horrible start. 29.7% field goals made from the field. I mean,
he's better than that from the 3-point line. I've seen the video.
He's only played marginal amounts of basketball since the meniscal tear in college, and he's not in shape, and he doesn't have explosion. His timing isn't there. Plus, he's playing in a league where there's a lot more speed, a lot more length, and I don't want to judge the young man because I think that he can do a lot better than what he's doing. Yeah, Bronk.
Is he related to Wayne Garland?
No, because he hasn't made nearly as much money for no reason.
Not even Judy Garland.
Judy Garland.
He's only
Right.
7 in the season, so I guess we'll have to wait and see,
Or we can put it all together by saying Fred McMurray's wife and my 3 sons, Beverly Garland. But look, that would be that would just be.
Hey, I had the Fred McMurray reference in the chat talking to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean,
what do you think about Kawhi Leonard getting fined $50,000 for sitting out against the Bucks?
something. This notion that the league outs his injury as a patellar tendon injury, I don't understand. I mean, they obviously, the league wants the Lakers to succeed, and they are going to do whatever they can to try to foment dissension within the ranks of the Clippers. The fact of the matter is that Kawhi Leonard helped win their last game for them by having a big 18-point fourth quarter barrage. And he's managing his health because he does have a patellar tendon problem. But why would the league out him? Since when did the league start publishing the extent and the types of injuries that players have?
Well, it also didn't help that Michael Jordan called him out. He said, "You're paid to play 82 games."
Fuck Michael Jordan.
Oh,
You know what I like to put a fucking Indian guy who's just eating at a buffet to shit in his hands and shove it in Michael Jordan's face. Fuck Michael Jordan. I mean, he's passe. And, who's the best team in the league now? The Lakers are the best team in the league. Why are they the best team in the league? It ain't Anthony Davis, folks.
This is coming from the guy that has Asian people work in sweatshops 24/7 to make his shoes and their
Exactly.
Somebody should ask if his Charlotte Hornets have played 82 games.
What are you going to say, Jake?
Can we mention that Michael Jordan might have played those games half drunk with the cigar cough?
And not only that, let's remind Michael of what his father looked like in the riverbed. Okay? I really get tired of people. It's like, quit. You're not an ambassador of the game. You never were. You never took a stance on anything. All you ever did was gamble while you were playing golf. Fucking sack of shit, and decided you wanted to play baseball for some godforsaken reason because you didn't even know your own skills and your own limitations as an athlete. So, leave it be. And you want to say, Giannis is now the best player in the NBA. It's like, suck my fat one. It's like LeBron James is still the greatest player in the game, and he's proving it in Los Angeles. The fact of the matter is that, yes, he's got a good cast around him, but it isn't Anthony Davis, folks. Take a look. LeBron James is averaging 11 and a half assists per game. He spaces the floor. The people who couldn't shoot the ball in the past, thank God that, ball is long gone. But the people who can't shoot the ball now suddenly start making them because they're wide open because defenses have to sag on LeBron. 11 and a half assists per game, 8 rebounds per game, and averaging his usual 26 points per game. There is no letdown in this guy, and he will make everybody around him better. Kawhi Leonard is a great, great basketball player, and his courage should never be questioned this way. The NBA is really wrong.
Yeah, and Jordan wrong too for throwing him under the bus, saying you're paid to play 82 games. That's kind of messed up.
And we're getting some other last-minute predictions here.
Yeah, I just wrote per notch. It's 11 now. We got 11 people.
How do we score 27 points? Somebody tell me that. How do we score 27 points?
How did they score 40 against the goddamn Ravens?
I think 27. Maybe that's over a span of 2 games.
Oh.
This week and next week against
We
Pittsburgh.
got a lot of turnovers against the Ravens in that Ravens game. A lot of luck, a lot of bad play by them.
No. At any rate, has everyone given their predictions? Rick,
Yeah,
did you?
420 Amsterdam to write it in real quick. Chat room.
So I guess I have to give my prediction. I already did. It's going to be 31, and let's be kind and give the Browns 17 even though that would mean they'd have to score 2 touchdowns, which I don't see how they're going to get into the end zone. But maybe they'll actually put Chubb in the game if they're in the red zone.
If they get the ball with Chubb, anything can happen.
And this is, and I think a lot of people would agree with this score, 24-13. The Browns just scored 13 points. It's like clockwork. Well, and that's it, everybody. That's what I have to say. I will be back Sunday at halftime and after the game, the post-game show, so you don't have to worry. And one thing you can count on, I will tell you...
How much for quitting?
The truth.
I quit quitting.
No, I say I give up on the team. I'm not cheering for this team. Not cheering for them. I'm a reporter. I'm going to tell the truth. But I'm not going to sit here and with pom-poms and start cheering these guys on. I think Myles Garrett is a fucking jerkwad, man,
Yeah,
saying that kind of shit. I mean, these people help pay your goddamn salary, and you haven't won a fucking home game, and you're going to come out and say that you're not playing for the fans, you're playing for the other players? You know, what a fucking elitist mentality.
He sounds like he's playing for himself. Like he's stat-bathed to prepare for his next contract for a new team.
It's hard to have a hanging head when it's shoved clear up your ass.
Okay, Sandy, you're now number 13 now. For this
Yes.
prediction.
Cindy says Brown. So, all right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into this edition of Moohead Radio. Back again at halftime on Sunday. Until then, hasta la vista, Pasture Heads. Good night.
Moo.